I know that God is aware of us. He knows how we feel. He knows what we're thinking. He's 100% aware of us. He's not going to prevent bad things from happening to us, but if we reach out to him, he will be there to comfort us and get us through whatever's happening. All right, guys, welcome to the vlog and the podcast today. We're doing something a little different today. We took questions on Instagram. It was a Ask Us Anything, so I have no idea where this is going to go. We've kind of been screenshotting on our phones all the best questions we wanted to get to. We probably won't get to all of them, thanks to everybody that submitted questions on Instagram. And let's just jump into it.
All right. Hi, guys. I will start. I loved this question. It said, your daily quote is, find good in everything. What do you think is positive about the quarantine? And I love that because we have to focus on the positive right now, because otherwise we're all going to lose our minds. And that is one of my biggest concerns right now too. I think a lot of people are only focusing on the coronavirus and what's happening and looking at the numbers and obsessing over the news and worrying and like looking at all the bad. And the more you look at that, the more it's just going to like throw you in a downward spiral. So instead, I think it's healthy to be aware. I don't think you should stop looking at the news completely, because you do need to be aware and it is real and we need to do something about it.
I think you should maybe check in once a day and see if there's any drastic change that's happening, but obsessing over every little article, because it's full of just headlines. They're all about, like, YouTubers use clickbait titles and the media uses clickbait titles. Some of them aren't even new.
That's just how it is.
Yeah, they're going to use these extreme titles to catch your attention.
Well, and find a reliable source that has the information you need. Like, I've been checking cases. I look up in our local news station about anything that the governor has said, like if there's a new stay-in-place order or whatever for each county, because they're all different. We live in a county that hasn't been locked down as drastically as like Salt Lake County, that has had a lot more deaths and they're locked down a lot more. Anyway, my point is you need to start focusing on the good. So the way we've been doing that is limiting how often we check things. And then I feel like also just being totally aware of all of your blessings. If it's small and simple, it doesn't matter. Take mental note of it. Also, a huge thing has been going on walks and getting outside in the fresh air. It is so good for you, and it's seriously, like, just seeing a bird fly by my face, I'm just like, oh, it's so pretty. Or looking at the snow on the mountains, it's beautiful. And then I'm like, oh, look how blessed we are. Look how beautiful that is. Even if it's as simple as that, focusing on the good. And then also, I mean, let's be honest, with the kids at home, it is a roller coaster. So there's like a lot of good and a lot of bad. But if you kind of pinpoint in and focus on the good and try to like create more of that, it's going to be better for everyone. And I keep telling myself, like, what are my kids going to remember from this? Is it going to be that we sat down and played a lot of board games together and maybe even played some video games together, had some movie nights? Or are they just going to remember being scared because I was like in my phone obsessing over everything negative out there? And I also think it's healthy to like balance and realize this is only a small part of what's going on. There's still, like, all the other diseases and everything that are out there are still out there. It's not like the only thing we're worrying about now is corona. You have to balance. You have to realize, like, maybe it is best for you to go to the doctor because you have some weird bump that needs to be checked out. Like, if you're ignoring cancer because you're afraid to leave your house for corona, like, you're really not. You know what I mean? You need to balance. You need to be healthy in your perspective of what's going on. And I found to help us also has been scripture study and prayer have really helped us to kind of like, it eases on my mind. I feel like it's a blessing from the Spirit. Like, the Holy Ghost can comfort you in ways that you can't get from any post on Facebook or Instagram or social media or news report. The comfort can come from personal revelation, and that's the only way to get it, is having that relationship with Heavenly Father and praying, and your mind will be put at ease and you can be inspired on what things are okay for you to do and not. And if you can't rely on that, it'd be a lot more scary for me. Like, that's what's helped me the most.
Yeah. And just on the quarantine note, we've been finding time to like get some space from our kids. Like we'll just go sit in the bus in quiet for a few minutes. Just I think most families are struggling. I don't think husbands and wives are used to being home all day together, and we're not used to having our kids with us all day. And it's fun and great, but I think you definitely need your space. So find some time that's quiet, whether you're just locking yourself on the toilet or in a storage room or I don't know.
In the garage, in the car.
That you're not looking at your phone and you're just being and you're just there and you get that space. You need to stay mentally sane and just get some space.
And if you're in a really hard spot, I know that a lot of people have lost their jobs. Like, focus on the fact that this is not going to be like this forever. You have to have hope that it's going to be better and just hang on. Like, don't dwell on all the crap and try to like have that perspective of hope.
On the same note, this is by Lily Cato 7. How are you guys holding up and handling your kids during quarantine? Same thing, like our kids, they're doing fine. The biggest thing is they miss their friends, but I think generally they're pretty used to, like, especially in the summertime, being with both parents all the time. And I mean, biggest differences in our lives are we're not able to go out and do activities, go to a rock climbing gym, go to a trampoline house.
Or a movie.
Go to the movies. There's all these activities that we enjoy doing that we just can't do. So we are doing other things. Like April said, we're playing board games. We do give them a little bit of screen time each day. We try to keep that as a limit. We're going on family walks, which is something we've very rarely done before all this started. Mm-hmm. We're walking like a whole mile together, or going on a hike up a little hill. So lots of fun things, just spending time together as a family. And
there's a lot of questions. I'm going to just address this really quick right now. There's like 1,000 questions of if we want to have more kids or if we're going to have any more kids. No, we're totally done permanently, and I feel good about it. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm going to address one more question here. It says, what are people's biggest incorrect assumptions about you? And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't know, and I don't care. There's a lot of opinions out there, and honestly, I don't care about any of them. I mean, there's a lot of good and bad opinions out there. And like, I'm not saying I don't care about those people, because I do. I care about people. I love people. Even people that are unkind to me, I still feel love for them, or try to. And if I don't, I hit my knees and try to feel love for them. But the point is that no one else's opinion of you really matters, except for, like, I put God's opinion first. And if I feel like I'm in good standing with him, no one else's opinion matters. And I hope that you guys can see that and feel the same, because it doesn't matter what assumptions people make about me. I really could care less. And I know that I'm doing my best to live my life as well as I can and do what I feel inspired through personal revelation, through prayer, through trying to align my will with God's. And if I'm doing that, that's all I can do. There's nothing else, and nothing else really matters. So
that's a good question. Too often people spend a good portion of their lives just trying to please others, and they're so worried about how they look online or how they look to their neighborhood or their neighbors, just trying to...
The need to be seen as a certain way.
They need to be seen a certain way as rich or happy or whatever. And just try to... The best thing you can do is live within your values and always be trying to improve yourself, comparing yourself only with yourself and not with those around you, and just doing your best and stop worrying about how you look to other people.
And trying to get out of focusing on yourself sometimes. Sometimes you need to turn your focus to helping other people. And I feel like I'm going to address one more thing with this is there's a lot of judgment going around with this whole pandemic. Even we've caught ourselves doing it too. Davey will go to the grocery store and see someone not wearing a mask. And he'll like in his head be like, oh my gosh, why aren't they wearing a mask? Okay, just because someone should be doing something does not still give us all the right to like dwell on it and judge people. So we have to catch ourselves doing it too. But it's like a good reminder of like, you should be wearing a mask if you feel like that's what you should be doing. And then if you want to be a good example for other people, do it and like hope, but you can't sit there and like dwell on and get mad at other people for not doing exactly what you think they should do when you think they should do it. It's just not how things work. Otherwise, you're going to be miserable.
Yeah, I like it.
So yeah, let's try not to judge other people. Just give them the benefit of the doubt. That's always the best option.
A friend of ours tweeted the other day, they said, I can tell exactly how judgmental somebody is just by looking at them.
It made me laugh out loud. It was actually Sean McKnight. We love him. You want to answer the next one?
There was a series of questions about exchange students. Nothing has been canceled. Everything's just on hold. We've applied for an exchange student and they've accepted us, and we are just waiting to see our school district. Everything's just on hold. So
I don't think that anything will happen as far as final decisions with that until it's like a month before, like when they're actually purchasing plane tickets, because we don't know what the future looks like. Honestly, if anyone tells you they know what the future looks like, they're lying to you, because even if they can make the best assumption, it's still not reality until it actually happens. So that's why like worrying about it does no good. Being aware of it and doing your part and doing what you feel is right is the best thing. But worrying about what the future is, it doesn't do anything.
I sincerely hope that we can get somewhat back to a somewhat normal life, that people can get back to work and the economy can recover, and and
the flights from Europe open back up
be able to hug people again. We hope that can happen as soon as possible, but there's a lot of people working hard on when that can happen, and everybody's just trying to stay safe right now. So everything's just kind of on hold right now, and we'll just hope for the best.
Yeah, and I want to address that too, as far as like what is safe. I feel like you can do the best you can, and still feeling safe is more of an emotion. It's not even a reality, because you think that you're safe from one thing and then you can have a heart attack the next day. Like, you really feeling of safety it's important and it's necessary, but it's also like if you're worrying about being safe too much to where it's like savagely taking away your happiness, then you're not safe, because mentally you're not safe. So that's where hope and faith come in. Like, you have to base your thoughts in hope and faith so that you can move on. And it is seriously the antidote to fear. I'm telling you guys, if you are feeling fearful, pray for faith, and have hope. That is my biggest advice.
And I think, for me, the biggest comfort has always been that I know that God is aware of us. He knows how we feel. He knows what we're thinking. He's 100% aware of us. He's not going to prevent bad things from happening to us, but if we reach out to him, he will be there to comfort us and get us through whatever's happening.
And just because we're preaching this does not mean we think we're perfect and we always make the right decisions. No, we screw up. We make mistakes, but we know, even though we make those mistakes, he's still there for us to fall back on, and he's still got us. Like, he's got our back. And he's got your back too, people. So don't worry about it.
Yeah,
My turn? Okay. Here's one. I said, can we get your hair care routine? Yeah.
You should do a whole hair video on that.
I should. I probably will. I should put that up on my hair channel. I'm starting to upload randomly on that again. Today, I just washed it and then I let it air dry. And I actually really like letting my hair air dry because it doesn't get as dry and brittle. It feels a little bit more moisturized. And I think it smells a little bit more like the perfume in the shampoo doesn't burn out. So it smells a little bit more strong. So there you go.
My turn? Okay, how do you do church now? This is from Callie Elise 4. It's a really good question. So we are not. It has been called off, just like everything else. No church meetings. No, we can't go to the temple. Nothing. And our church already started not too long ago. We used to do 3 hours of church, and they went down to 2 hours of church and wanted to start encouraging more of a home-centered but church-supported, gospel learning.
We're talking like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, like very recently.
So and it's been like 3-hour church and been like that for, 30 years, however long it's been happening, but it's just a very recent change. And they gave us a study manual, and we were encouraged to take that extra hour and spend time learning in our home. And so
and that's what we're doing.
it's almost like they were preparing us for something like this. And so there wasn't a panic of what,
It was such a smooth transition. It's not even funny. And you have to realize also it's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is the church we belong to. And it is a worldwide church. And this is a worldwide change. It wasn't just like our church in our little area. This is worldwide. It's very massive. It's big. And it was like a flawless transition. It was so beautiful.
And another really big change is part of our weekly worship is we take the sacrament. And it is done with permission from the bishop who's in charge of the ward, the whole congregation. And people with the priesthood pass it around, and it's a very rare thing that you're able to take the sacrament in your home.
This was actually the first time we ever did it.
We've never done it. I have brought it to like elderly ladies before. When people can't go to church, you have to get the bishop. You can't just do it in your home whenever you want. You have to have the bishop's permission. It has to be a good reason for it.
Yeah, you have to have the authority.
Yeah, you have to have the authority and permission. And so it's been. And the stories I'm hearing from everybody, it's such a spiritual experience to have that in your home.
It's really cool.
To take the sacrament in your home. So it's been really special. We've had some really neat experiences in our family, and I'm not sad about it. Like, I'm excited to get back and be with people again.
I'm like, this is actually amazing. Anyway.
It's been really neat. I'm not minding home church at all.
Let's lighten it up a little bit, you guys. It says, are y'all's kids really going to clog? I would love to see that. Okay, yeah, I hope so. I can't force my kids to do anything. I learned this a long time ago. And one of the other questions was, what would you tell yourself, parenting-wise, your younger self? This is what I would tell them, me. I would say, you have to realize your kids have their own will, and they get to choose what they do and do not do. You can only put in your request and then outline very clear consequences and rewards. Like, it's basically you're making a like a family government. So we've done that. My kids know, like, I'm going to tell you to do something, and if you choose not to do it, that's your choice. But these are the things that are going to happen. So I haven't decided what the consequence is going to be if they don't, but they probably won't get to participate in something fun that came from the benefit of doing this as a family. So whatever that is, I'll make it up later. We'll decide as a family. I'll actually let them have a say in it. We'll probably sit down, have a family meeting, decide this is our goal. We're going to reach it. If we reach the goal, this is what we're going to do to reward ourselves. And if you don't want to participate, then fine. But they will have to come to, like, we're going to be practicing it in our house now. We're going to try to learn a routine. And everyone's going to be in the room. If they choose not to do it, then they don't do it. But they're still going to be there. And I'm still making them an outfit. But basically, I can't force them. You can't force people to do things.
April has enjoyed making the costumes. Yes. She is a quite talented seamstress. So it's been like, she's been giddy about making these. Let's say
they're good
dresses.
From afar, but they're far from good. But that's kind of what I love about them, because I want my kids to be able, in like 15, 20 years, to pull it out and show their friends and laugh about it and be like, look, y'all, my mom literally made this out of fabric, and look how the zipper's all janky. Like, that's the best part about it, is it looks homemade.
I think all kids need a healthy dose of being a little bit uncomfortable. Like, I think kids are so pampered nowadays, and they don't have to do anything hard. I know ours are, at least. So I think it's good to push them a little bit out of their comfort zones.
They're just going to love it. Like, it's going to be different for everyone, because everyone has different opinion in the family.
Yeah, Evie, she tried hers on, and she's just loving it. She's dancing around, kicking, too. And Ender's like, I'm only doing it to wear the awesome outfit.
It's just Dade and Daisy. It's the older ones, but you know what? If it is hard for them, maybe they come around and they're like, I actually learned this really cool skill, and I like it now. Who knows? I don't know. Don't know the future. Not worried about it. We're going to just go forward. Okay, here's one. If you weren't a vlogger, what would you be?
Astronaut. That's easy.
Easy. I want to say vlogging is one of the many hats we have. We have a lot of things that we do that we could make money on, that we do make money on. And before we started vlogging, he was a videographer, I was a photographer and a hairstylist. that's what we would probably do to make
Probably
money
doing
because we
that,
had those skill sets already. So there you go.
Or astronaut.
Or I mean, if I could be picking anything, I'd probably be a fashion designer.
Who asked that question? You should say their name.
It was L Bell 42's
Okay,
response.
next question. Y101610. How did you guys first meet? Okay, a lot of you probably know this already, but we met in a roller skating rink. I tripped and fell, and she picked me up.
That's a lie. Lies. I was like, wait, what? Did we? No.
JK, we met country dancing. As a young lad, I like to go to dances because that was the biggest, collection of girls to choose from, and
Collection of girls.
the regular dances, hip hop dances, no girls ever saw me there. I wasn't cool. There was the strong guys that dominated those, and they would just stand there. They didn't have to dance good. They would just stand there and look cool. And, girls wanted to dance with them and stuff. And then I don't even know what got me started in country dancing. Like my sisters would go or something. I don't even know what got me started, but I started to get really good at it. And so I was the guy at country dancing, and the strong guys were jealous of me. Because all the girls,
hated him.
They
In fact,
hated me.
They would pick fights all the time.
They would throw things at me. They did not like it because the girls wanted to dance with me. So
there was literally a line to stand in line to dance with Davey, and I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating. That's how fun it was to dance with him because he put the moves together in such a fun way and did lifts with the girls, and no one else did that. It was just fun.
So country dancing, yeah, she had a boyfriend when I met her.
The first time I saw him, I was there with my boyfriend.
And I was with a friend that liked fights, so I think he picked a fight with her boyfriend for some weird reason. He just liked to fight people. He smiled too much. Weird thing. So I don't know. I was like, okay. It was the last time he got invited country dancing. Anyways, yes, met country dancing, danced all the time for 2 years straight. And even when we stopped dating, we always danced together. Loved dancing.
That was the constant. Even if we weren't friends, we were still dancing.
We always danced.
I still stood in line. When we weren't dating, I stood in line. When we were dating, he didn't dance with other girls. I had him all to myself.
That's true. That's true.
Anyway, I have this one that I want to answer. It's a question from Mickelson Brooks. It says, what is the scariest moment of both of your lives? And I, hands down, nothing will top this, hopefully, the rest of my life. The scariest moment was going down that sledding hill with Ambry and Ender. And when, I swear we were going 60 miles an hour on ice, and then we flipped and crashed. And it was... And it seemed like it took an hour to get down the hill. It was not a hill. It was a freaking cliff, a mountain. It was so stupid. I look it back. I'm like, what happened in my mind that made me make that decision? I don't even know. But I was like, okay, it'll be fine. I went, no, it was not fine. Guys, I got stuck between a rock and a hard place, and I did what I thought was best, and it was a complete disaster. And I ended up with a concussion. But luckily the kids had helmets, and they were fine. But guys, I will never forget that. It was horrible. What was yours?
I don't even know. I'd say watching you go down.
Was that your scariest moment too?
I'm trying to think. I've never had
Oh my gosh.
I was hit by a car when I was 16.
That's probably your scariest moment.
I don't know. It wasn't even that scary though. So.
I mean, it already, you don't anticipate it, just happened.
Yeah.
Mine, while we were going down, it was bouncing so bad, and Ender was bouncing out, and I had to grab his collar of his coat and pull him down, and then his little legs just kept flopping, and I was so scared he was going to bounce out. Probably would have been safer for him if he would have just bounced out, honestly, though. I don't know. Okay,
next question. I think my turn for one. Haley-Bug5, does the kids like being out of school? What do y'all do as a family quarantined? The kids, they like being out of school, but it's hard. They all just unanimously miss their friends. They can't. There's so many friends that they miss being with. They love
Which is
homeschool.
Interesting. I feel like they're actually doing really well with the work. In fact, I think Zayd's actually doing better with the work. But yeah, the social aspect is really what they miss.
Yeah, and they love it. They're only working on school 1 to 2 hours a day, besides exercising and stuff, and that's way less time at school. But yes, they miss being with their friends. But they're also gaining some good relationships with each other.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
It's been fine. There is teasing. There's plenty of fighting. They're still kids, but...
Well, that's kind of what strengthens a relationship, though, is going through the hard times and realizing how to deal with the person being annoying to you.
And they've been getting to do some fun things. The kids have been sleeping in the bus sometimes, sleeping in the playhouse sometimes, doing these little sleepovers with each other where on a normal basis they would have insisted on having a friend there instead, but they're like doing these things that in other situations it never would have happened.
Yeah. Okay, I have a question. It's from your Kamurka. Okay. Any advice you should give the first time pregnant woman? I'm scared that I might have to deliver alone. Guys, this sucks so bad if you're pregnant. And I'm like, my heart goes out to all you mamas out there because it just adds, like, it's already kind of like a scary, uncharted territory, especially on your first. But my advice would be, I'm going to say it again and again here, you guys. Pray, 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 and follow your gut. Get personal revelation is going to be your best bet because there is no right answer that fits everyone. I promise you, every single pregnancy is different. Every single birth is different. You are going to be the best off if you're really searching, praying, and following your gut and just going by that. Like, research. Find out the facts. Find out what your insurance will and won't cover. Call the hospital ahead. Like, a lot of conversations need to happen, and then you need to hit your knees and make decisions, and that's going to be the best way to feel at peace. So good luck. I will say, me personally, I don't think I would be able to let them take my baby from me, but I know that that's like protocol right now if the mom tests positive for COVID. But I'm telling you, they're going to give you advice and you can choose to take it or you can choose not to. And there's going to be there's consequences to choosing not to. I have a friend that's a nurse and I said, well, what happens if the mom's like, no, give me my baby? She's like, well, we would have to give her the baby, but then they would have to leave the hospital and they would not cover anything with the insurance. And I was like, my jaw dropped because that's crazy. And then I was like, oh, well, I have Christian Healthcare Ministries. Like, that's not insurance. It would still be covered with them. So I kind of was like, well, that's cool. But at the same time, like, I'm not suggesting that you do that because that could be horrible. Maybe your baby does get sick. So really, the only right answer is going to be you collecting information, praying, and doing what you feel is best. And even if you make a mistake, then, like, you felt you got to do what you thought was best and be forgiving and graceful with yourself because hindsight's always 20/20, but unfortunately we have to make decisions and move forward without that. So good luck, mamas. Seriously, I am praying for you guys.
Was she asking delivering the baby alone without their significant other?
There is a thing
or
right now
alone
that if
home?
She's saying alone in the hospital. There's a lot of hospitals that are saying they're not allowing a companion in.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of hospitals that are only allowing one companion in. It just depends on what is going on in your area, your government. I think that a lot of women are opting to go to birthing centers because there are not sick people there. So that might be an option. And like I said, you'd have to just weigh the pros and cons. Obviously, you would not have access to an epidural there. So you're going to have to deal with things differently if you take different routes and just try to educate yourself on that. Maybe you do decide to go the route of unmedicated. I've done that 5 times. It was great and I loved those experiences, but you have to be mentally prepared. You have to be educated because if you can't relax your body and breathe through the contractions and use some kind of a technique to kind of hypnobirthing or the Bradley method or something where you're actually working with your contractions, your body will just tense up and the pain will be 10 times worse and it won't dilate you because you're fighting the contraction to let the baby out. So that's my advice though. prepare and move forward with your plan to the best of your ability. And I mean, it will work out fine. Hopefully everything is good, but follow your gut. But yeah, that's kind of what I think they're suggesting is they're afraid that they're going to have to go in all by themselves and deliver a baby.
Yeah.
And that is kind of scary.
Okay.
But there's options. You just need to look for them.
Next question from Pikria Dolordava. How is the situation about COVID-19 in Utah? So wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching right now, I'm going to try to describe as best as I can.
Now, you have to realize this podcast is going to be a few days old. So this is not even going to be accurate information.
Okay, I'm just, as upon recording this is what it's like right now in Utah. Right now, there's a stay home, stay safe. It's not enforced. It's just encouraged. Just stay home as much as you can, unless you need to go out and get food. Now, if you go to the grocery store, I'd say still like 15% of the people are wearing masks. It's still pretty rare. I know everybody's been encouraged to. When I go to the store, I'm wearing a mask and gloves, and disposable gloves. So people are still going for walks, jogs, spending time outside, which I think is awesome.
And I don't wear a mask when I'm jogging because that would be so hard to breathe. But I'm not by anyone, and I'm not touching surfaces that are going to infect people. Like, that's different.
We can still get takeout. We've been doing that a lot. They'll bring the order out to us. We'll eat it in the bus. We've got tables set up in the bus. All restaurants are closed. Only essential businesses are open. And
there are certain counties that are enforcing things differently than where we are. Where we are, we haven't had very many deaths or cases. Actually, we've had a lot of cases, but the death rate is really low. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they're treating it differently or what. But
So yeah, some parts of Utah's specific counties do have a strict stay-at-home order where they are not. I don't even think they're doing pickup. They're not doing anything, nothing. Yeah. So they cannot leave the house.
We're in a lot more rural area.
We out in the boonies.
We are. So I feel like that is in our benefit with this situation. We've had, as of right now, 13 deaths in our state and almost 2,000 confirmed cases. They haven't done the math on the recovered cases because they said it's really hard because there's not a standard to judge what is recovered from this. And there's like 170 hospitalizations right now. So that's kind of what it looks like in Utah in a nutshell a couple days before this live. So...
Okay, I got another one for you. This is going to be kind of a challenge. From our Jensen Journey, describe each of your kids in one word. Okay, we're going to, on the count of 3, we're just going to say the word. Okay? So we're going to start with Zay. Take a second and think.
Funny.
Oh, well, on the count of 3. You just blurt it out.
Well, I'm done. Go.
I was going to say intense.
He's intensely funny. Okay.
Daisy. Daisy. 1, 2, 3.
Sunshine.
Happy. Good. Ambry. 1, 2, 3.
Driven.
Intense.
Intensely driven.
Ender. 1, 2, 3.
Talented.
Independent.
He's independently talented.
Okay. EB. 1, 2, 3.
Hilarious.
Fashion.
She's so funny.
Okay, Frankie. 1, 2, 3.
Love.
Baby.
I love him so much. I love all my kids, guys, but like I could just eat him. He's my baby.
He's so
course.
stinking cute. Okay, a couple more.
Yeah.
What else you got?
Okay, what are your favorite quarantine snacks? This is a good one, you guys, because I have been being very mindful of what we actually purchase on our orders. Like we've been having groceries delivered and whatever, because I don't want to invite the crap in too much because I literally cannot say no if some yummy stuff I like to eat is in front of my face. So I just don't buy it, or I buy it rarely and then like let the kids help me just devour it really quick so it's gone. But our favorite things have been actually cucumber salsa and my sourdough bread. And I love both of those because they're so good, but they're also good for you. So if you want my recipes for those, I feel like I've done a video on my sourdough bread before. You have to have a sourdough start, and you can search the internet for that. And then it's like 4 ingredients, but it takes like hours of rising. So there's instructions on the internet. You can do it. It's basically, I've shared it before on one of the vlogs. Hopefully you can find that one. And then the cucumber salsa, guys, 3 cucumbers, 3 Roma tomatoes, a lime juiced, or 2. I like 2 sometimes. And a jalapeno, a handful of cilantro, and Johnny's seasoning salt and pepper. Did I miss anything? It's so good. There's 5 ingredients and then salt and pepper and seasoning. And then you just eat it with chips. And I'm telling you, that is my favorite snack right now. I'm out of jalapeno jelly. I would have added that in too, but I literally ate all of the jalapeno jelly we made. So I'm going to make a lot of jalapeno plants this year and make it again. I'm going to make double the amount so that I don't run out.
Okay, here is another question.
Well, what are your favorite snacks?
Oh, in quarantine?
Yeah.
Oh. I like dairy-free ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
It's by So Delicious, cashew something or other. I have tried every single brand of vegan ice cream.
He literally bought every single
We did
kind.
a video where we went to the store and bought every single kind and almost every flavor and every kind. And this one blows them all out of the water. It's made out of cashew milk. And dairy upsets my stomach.
But yeah, the Yasso bars you've been enjoying.
I've been eating those too. Those are a fun treat.
They're like a Greek yogurt.
Those are very light. The kids have been stealing those.
I think that those have good probiotics in them, so maybe that's why you don't have.
Yeah, those don't
upset stomach.
those don't upset me. Yeah, and some ice creams I can kind of eat. I don't know, but dairy in general doesn't do well with me. Okay, so next question from SenseGirl88. What do you miss most aside from church, movies, restaurants? I think I miss
Hanging out with friends.
Getting together we used to do like big group couples dates and stuff, and just go out to dinner and just
Or
have
even
a good
host a
time.
party in our backyard.
Hosting parties over here, having
I
family
miss it.
over, Sunday dinners with family. It's just being with people.
I miss my people.
Hugging people and shaking hands and just...
I will say this is the good though. How much more appreciative are we going to be of our people when we can be with them again? I bet there's going to be like ridiculous hugs and tears, like so much joy. And I think that without the dark, you don't get to appreciate the joy as much.
Opposition. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be weird to just hug somebody again in public or hug a friend that you haven't seen or hug my mom.
It's going to be good.
My mom, she's such a hugger.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some hugs when this is all over. I feel bad that we have to seclude ourselves from her. So, okay, a couple more questions, April. What do you got? You got any more?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Sorry. Yeah, I have a lot. There's a lot of good ones, you guys. Here's one. It says, are you afraid of taking EB out with her low immune system? And I actually asked the doctor about this a couple months ago because when it was all happening in China, I hadn't even come to the U.S. yet.
And if you don't know, EB has juvenile idiopathic arthritis, and she's on methotrexate, which weakens her immune system.
It's a super low chemotherapy. It's like really, really mild. She doesn't lose her hair or anything. But part of it is immunocompromised. So her immune system gets suppressed because her immune system is what's attacking her joints. Like her body's attacking itself, and it kind of helps maintain that. And it really has helped her a lot because she's not flaring up anywhere. But here's the deal. So I asked the doctor, I was like, what do you think? Should we take her off of it? What should we do? And she was like, honestly, don't even worry about it. You can't worry about the future. We're going to take it as things happen. If she gets a fever or a cough, then we will say, okay, this is what we have going on. Let's move forward. And so that's what we're doing. And it did happen a couple weeks ago. She got a little cough and she had a fever. And she also said, just because she gets sick doesn't mean it's automatically she's going to die. It's just maybe it takes her 2 or 3 days more to recover from a cold than it does your other kids. Like, it's not what you think it is. She's like, she will be fine. 90% of kids, 99% of kids are totally fine on it. It'll be okay. She totally reassured me and made me feel better. And yeah, so that's basically what we're doing. I'm treating her the same as all the other kids. I'm telling her to wash her hands and making sure she eats healthy food. I'm giving her vitamins. What else can you do? I mean, I'm telling you guys right now, this is something that you could take and dwell on, and it could totally wreck you mentally. I've chosen to put faith and trust and hope in place, and I'm aware of the danger, and we do our best to keep her safe, but we're going to take it as it comes. So no, I'm not afraid. I don't feel like I mean, if I knew I was going somewhere and that person was sick, I'd probably be like, oh, we're going to stay home, because she would probably get that and it would be a little bit worse for her. But it's not like she's going to die automatically if she gets something. So I will take it as it comes, and no, I'm not afraid. I don't have fear in my heart with that.
Okay.
Right now.
Tammy3512, did you have to cancel any summer plans because of COVID? The only one thing for sure that got canceled in May, we were going to go out to Clamor. It's a conference where YouTubers get together and meet with brands, and it's a really exciting thing for our kids.
Have you gotten emails saying it's canceled?
It's canceled. And so that's for sure canceled. As far as this summer goes, we haven't planned a ton. We do have Lake Powell on the books. We have a timeshare on a houseboat, and Lake Powell is closed right now. So as of now, that has been canceled, but hopefully in the summertime, everything's...
I believe it will be open by June.
I would be very surprised if it wasn't open by June or so, yeah.
So we'll probably still do that. I don't think anything has been canceled. I think it's fine.
Still, just don't take away my Lake Powell.
Then we'll have problems. Okay. What has been one of the funnest things you've done with foreign exchange students? What do you think?
I remember Lake Powell with our first exchange student. It was off to kind of a rough start. She was crying in the beginning because we were cold and we
forgot our blankets.
Yeah, we forgot our blankets. We were camping under the stars, and that's something I don't think she'd ever done before, but it ended up being the memory that her favorite takeaway from the trip.
And I quote from her, that was the best thing we did. Like, we asked her at the end, what was your favorite thing? She said Lake Powell. So the first night was rough, but she ended up jumping in both feet,
trying a million things she had never done before, and just seeing her experience all those things for the first time was amazing.
I'd say travel, because that would fall into Lake Powell. Like, I remember taking Paola and Roberta to Disney World. It was so much fun.
Paola, she went to Lagoon amusement park in Utah.
That was like within the first couple days she was here.
Yeah, that was way early, and she loved it. We loved it. It was really fun. That's one of our favorite things with exchange students, is seeing them experience things for the first time.
Well, and our exchange students, none of them knew who we were before they came. The first one, we didn't have a vlog, so she just came. And the other two didn't know who we were until we had requested them and they accepted, and then they looked us up, and then they were watching the vlogs for a couple months before they came, and that's happening again. So when she got here, she was like, I want to go to Lagoon. Like, she already knew exactly what to request, and I thought it was so fun because, like, I kind of love having the vlog just because they already feel so comfortable when they get here, because they have been watching the vlog and they kind of know how the family works and everyone's names, and it has been such an amazing tool to help them and help us too. I just think it's a really cool dynamic to throw in there.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Next question.
You want to answer this one?
Yeah, what do you got?
What has been the biggest struggle as a YouTuber?
The biggest struggle as a YouTuber. It's definitely hard being in the public eye, being judged, and you try not to let the haters get you down, but the mean comments definitely do get to you. So I think
they can get to you. I found ways to cope with that.
Yeah.
But I don't let it affect me too much.
I'd say also, wondering how it's going to affect our children. Like nobody really knows. There's been so few kids that have really grown up on YouTube or in the public eye, and
but then again, you can't worry too much about that because we're all screwing up our kids just in different ways. I promise you, if you think you're perfect and that you're the best mom in the world, there's still things you can improve on. We're all a mess and we're all doing our best and we're all doing great. So like you have to have balance in your thoughts with that because.
So yeah, I think we have to find good balance with our kids and doing fun things that, are fun to watch in videos also, but trying not to spoil them too much.
But yeah, and then also making sure that they have like a good grasp on how the world really works and how things go because it can be a skewed perception, whatever. And I will say another thing I feel like the biggest struggle as being a YouTuber, honestly, is trying to figure out the algorithm, not even the algorithm, but kind of like, because everything that you've worked to build can be like destroyed with an artificial intelligence bot coming in and like throwing everything up in the air. It really can. We've seen it happen. So it's like working. You don't know how long you're going to have your job.
It's working for the worst boss in the world because there's not a person you can really talk to and things can YouTube's just change. Fault. It's just huge.
They put everything in place the best they can too. Like we're all doing the best we can.
Yeah, they're doing the best they can to manage the billion hours per second that are uploaded to YouTube.
It's the Wild West, you guys, I'm telling you.
They're figuring it out, we're figuring it out, and everybody's just...
Do you feel like that's been the biggest challenge? Even above like all the other crap?
Yeah, that's tough.
Because it's really like that is the hardest part of your job is trying to figure out like, well... How am I going to adapt? Because it's an adapt or die situation every month. They change the algorithm, and then also being able to like look at a situation and not sell your soul in order to do it. Because we know there's a lot of trends out there that would like be wildly successful if we jumped on, but they're conflicting to our personal standards. So it's always like this little dangling carrot in front of you that you can like reach out and grab and snatch up, and you have to be able to still make the money but not sell your soul. So it is a little bit hard and tricky, but I feel like if you really are trying to be a good person and do your best to be honest and be true to yourself, then you're okay there. But it is definitely something that's challenge. Entering the hairdressing workforce at 34, almost finished with hair school. Okay, girl, here's the thing. It doesn't matter how old you are. I promise you. You do the very best you can. Keep working on your skill. In fact, your age might actually be a benefit here because I remember as a 19-year-old hairdresser in the salon, people would walk in the door and sit down, and I was immediately judged a lot of the time because I was so young. They'd be like, first question out of their mouth, how long have you been doing hair? Because they were legitimately scared and concerned. So I would say have confidence. I found a lot of comfort in prayer. I say this all the time, you guys, but it's so true. I remember going in the back before mixing up color and just like praying, please help me know what to do here because I'm a little scared and I don't really know what I'm doing. And like the thought or a memory would come to my mind of like something I learned in hair school. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to try that. And I'd mix it up and I'd go out and do it. And it turned out good. And I was like, say a prayer, thank Heavenly Father for the inspiration because you guys, that helped me, I'm telling you, all the time. So I would say try that. Also, fake it till you make it. You have to just have confidence sometimes and go for it and trial and error. If you mess up, don't get down on yourself, beat yourself up. Be like, oh, I know not to do that next time and move on because that's just how you learn. You're not going to do a perfect hairstyle or a haircut on everyone that walks through the door right out of hair school. You're not, and it's totally fine. You're going to increase your prices. You're going to, as you feel more confident and get more skilled and build it. Look at it as starting from the ground and building up, and you will be totally fine. And I would also suggest having some kind of an incentive for people to refer. That helped me out a lot. So there you go. Good luck, Jess.
Awesome. Guys, thanks for tuning in. That was amazing. We'll have to do this again sometime. I feel like we get to talk more real when we do stuff like this instead of just filming our cute kids.
I hope that this helped you guys. We really do care and love you guys, care about you guys.
Yeah, I feel like it's a better way to really connect with you guys and
good questions. There's so many more we didn't get to, and
the things you guys care about. So that was fun. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Find good in everything. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye. Thank you.